We need to identify the problem first, right? You cannot change what you don't acknowledge. Remember that. So, what is exactly the problem in Iran? Why is everyone so angry? And why are people so extraordinarily unsatisfied with their life in Iran? Everything. I believe everything is the best way to put it in words. See, make a list, okay? Make a long, fat list of anything, anything you think the government, the leadership, the monarchy, what the fuck ever. Anything you think the head of a country can do wrong. My friend, the list you just made is the exact precise list of everything the Islamic regime of Iran have been doing over the past 47 years they've been in charge. I'm going to give you 3 examples to put you into perspective. It's to a point that not even the name of the country makes sense anymore. The Islamic regime, after they took over the country, they named the country the Islamic Republic of Iran. The Islamic Republic. It makes no sense. A republic cannot be Islamic. A republic can never be religious. A republic, as a matter of fact, can never be categorized. Let's talk English language here, okay? A republic means everyone, every single person. The Republic of Iran means every single person who either lives in Iran or somehow has the Iranian citizenship. See, approximately 90 million people live in Iran, let alone the couple million who don't. But yeah, take the 90 million people who live in Iran today. Let's say 89,999,999 of them are Muslims. What happens to that one singular person who's not? Would you, as an Islamic Republican, would you count that person in? But the country is at a state right now that the name of it is the last thing to be worried about, right? I think the biggest problem in Iran that people are facing every day is the economy of the country. Ladies and gentlemen, fasten your seatbelts. It's gonna get hot in here. I am about to tell you that one singular US dollar, one single US dollar, a $1 bill is equal to around 1.7 million. I'm sorry, I know it's not funny. I know nothing we're going to talk about today is funny. But, sometimes the only thing you can do is to laugh. Yeah, one US dollar equals to 1.7 million Iranian rial. And this is the most fucked up economy you can even think of. This intentional, terrible management of the economy of the country has caused people's life and daily activities to become worse, more boring, more frustrating, more irritating, more depressing by the minute. You see, something that we call normal, basic human right today in the modern world is probably some Iranian's dream. Being able to buy a car has become a dream. Being able to buy or even rent a house or a flat has become a dream. Having the time or the lust to fall in love with someone and marry them one day has become a dream, because there is no fucking money to marry someone with. What is even the point of wanting to build a family if you know you cannot manage to put some bread on the table for them? And at some point it makes sense that so many people come to the streets and say, hey man, we are fucking done here. If you want to kill us, if you want to put us behind the bars, go ahead, do it. Because this life that we are having, this future we are heading towards, is not even a future anymore. We are not even having life anymore. So maybe even, death as a worst case scenario is even better than this life. So much to the economy of the country, and the quality of the life. I mean, I don't really want to get into that much detail. I obviously could talk more about every single point that I mentioned, but I'm not really willing to record a 3-hour video here. So yeah, that much to the economy. Another major problem that Iran's inhabitants deal with on a daily is lack of freedom. You're not allowed to eat the food you want to eat. You're not allowed to drink what you want to drink. You're not allowed to dress the way you want, especially as a woman. You are basically not allowed to live your life the way you want to live it. There are some certain guidelines, some absolutely strict guidelines given by the regime, and you are forced to stick with them, which makes you live your life the exact way they want you to. A perfect example for it is me, myself. The country is so fucked up. It's suffering from lack of freedom so hard that me, as soon as I upload and publish this video, I am gonna be closing all of my ways back to my country. I am not gonna be able to go back to my home country, for fuck's sake, which I don't really consider as my home country, but I mean the country I was born in. Why? Because I'm making a video talking about some shit, clarifying some things, explaining some things. Because I'm, speaking against them, they are not gonna allow me to walk freely in the country. I'm probably gonna be behind the bars, if not even dead, before I even set foot on the streets. And this is pretty fucking fucked up if you ask me. And you mofos better subscribe right now. I'm sacrificing here. What you need to know is that this absolute disaster is not how this country always used to be. How did it all start? Our story goes back to 47 years ago. Until 47 years ago, Iran used to be one of the most beautiful, one of the most powerful, one of the richest, and one of the most respected and loved countries worldwide. All thanks to the previous two Shahs or kings of Iran. I don't really know why people call them Shah, because Shah isn't a name. Shah means king in Persian. But yeah, anyways, all thanks to the previous two kings of Iran, Reza Pahlavi and his son Mohammad Reza Pahlavi. These two genuinely made a fucking paradise out of Iran. But there was a problem. A huge fucking problem. Unluckily, at Mohammad Reza's time, people started to become more and more religious. And because he himself was also a religious man, he didn't really have anything against it. I mean, he always was religious. He always was a Muslim, but he never really involved religion into the law or into how he ruled the country. But people wanted religion. They weren't satisfied. They wanted more. They already had enough. I mean, as I said, Shah himself was a pretty religious person. He built thousands of mosques all over the country, but it still wasn't enough for them. They didn't want their religion to be only a part of their personal life. They wanted it to be in charge. They were so convinced that the religion they were believing in was absolutely perfect that they wanted it to be a part of their everyday routine. Some time went by, and one day a new alternative came up called the Islamic regime, the Islamic Republic, with the leadership of Ayatollah Khamenei, which was exactly what people wanted at that time, right? A religious leader with some appetizing religion-based, offers and advantages, which never actually happened, by the way. And yeah, long story short, they finally came up with the idea of throwing their king out of the country and bringing this new religious, holy leader to the country and, put him in charge. They made it. And, Muhammad Reza Pahlavi, he didn't really resist. He just gave it up because he was like, okay, if this is what my people want, if what my people want is me out of the country, if what they really want is this new regime, then I'm gonna give it to them. I'm not just gonna shut them down. I'm not gonna run over them. I'm not gonna just kill them, which is actually what they're doing today. So yeah, he gave his monarchy up and went. Which is actually funny. I said earlier in the video, when the Islamic regime took over Iran, which is not true because they didn't really attack Iran or capture it or, somehow take over Iran. They were brought in by the people. It's funny that at that time, 98, I think almost 98% of Iranians voted for them. 98, almost 100%. Which is so fucked up to think about, that the reason that so many people have died over the past 47 years because of them, the reason that so many millions of people are suffering today or having a terrible life or, facing numerous problems on their daily, is most likely nothing but their own grandparents. The reason that so many people like me had to, move out of Iran and leave their families, their relatives, their friends, all they had behind, and start a completely new life in a completely new country, new place for a potential better life, is probably nothing but our own grandparents. So yeah, that's it. If you want to search more into it, if you need more details about this whole incident, it's called Iran's Revolution. But yeah, for now, let's move on. If you're somehow connected to the online world, you have most likely noticed the recent demonstrations in Iran. And I think by now you can guess pretty well why it's all happened and why people are so raged out. Basically, after 47 years of the Islamic Republic of Iran, people finally came to the realization that they've had enough. So they came to the streets on the command of Reza Pahlavi, the son of the previous king of Iran. I mean, you gotta give it to him, man. Imagine people disrespecting the bitch out of your father and your grandfather. Imagine people throwing your father out of the country, and 47 years later, the same people come to the streets, millions of them, shouting your name, calling you out, wanting your help, seeing you as their savior. If this is not aura, what is? Anyways, they come to the streets on his command, which, I don't really know if it was a good idea by him or not. I mean, it was a good idea and it was a bad idea. It was a bad idea because, man, you know exactly what's going to happen, right? You know exactly that as soon as the Islamic regime sees so many people on the streets, as soon as they feel this danger, this threat, you know exactly that they're gonna pull out their machine guns and absolutely spray on people, which is exactly what happened. And I don't think that he's someone who doesn't know it. He knows them better than anybody else. And a lot of people are judging him and saying, yes, so many people died because of you, because of what you said. On the other hand, it was a good thing because obviously they learned it the hard way. But what we for sure know is that people alone cannot take this regime down. They need international support. They need America's support. And even more specifically, they need President Trump. He is the one and only person in this world right now who can seriously help Iran, who can take this regime down and, take Iran as a country to a whole other level. But the world, the US, the President Trump, they all need a probable cause in order to be able to, do something. And what probable cause is better than them murdering this many people? Let me tell you something. During these protests, they murdered at least 40 to 50,000 people. Civilians. 40 to 50,000 people were murdered and butchered by the agents of the regime in Iran. And just to put you in the perspective of how fucking terrifying it is, during the Russia-Ukraine war, how long has this war been going on? 4 years? 5 years? During this war, outside of military deaths, 17 to 20,000 civilians lost their lives. I mean, it's a huge number. Obviously, it's terrible, and you have to feel bad for them. But in a serious war between two countries, only 17 to 20,000 civilians die. But during some peaceful protests, the Islamic regime of Iran murder at least 50,000 people. And these 50,000 deaths are the deaths that are confirmed by the regime itself, by the hospitals, let alone all the murders and deaths that are still covered. What I was saying? Exactly. Probable cause. They need probable cause. And what probable cause better than this? They need a reason. And the regime, by killing so many people, they have basically given them this reason. Speaking of Trump, let's talk about how this whole thing might actually end up. There are many possibilities. 2, in fact. A, the regime and its leader, Ali Khamenei, survive. If you don't know him, as I said, he's the leader and the head of the Islamic regime of Iran, of this autocracy. If you don't know what an autocracy is a form of government where only one person holds all the power. In this case, it's him, Ali Khamenei. They survive, which leads to more deaths, more executions, more generations will get fucked under them, more and worse economical day-to-day problems for the businesses and the individuals in the country. More wars and conflicts in the Middle East and worldwide even. They will get closer and closer to the enrichment of uranium and their nuclear bombs they've been grinding on for years. Actually, they said that as soon as they get their hands on the nuclear bombs, they will drop the first one on the US and the second one on Israel. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ, man. Yeah, and B is the happy ending. And as I said, the only person on the planet Earth who is capable of getting this happy ending is no one but President Donald J. Trump. Best case scenario, he starts an operation, captures or assassinate Khamenei and changes the regime and puts an alternative in power. Most likely it's going to be Reza Pahlavi because he's people's favorite. I don't know exactly how he's gonna do it. I'm not him, but we all know for a fact that first of all, he has enough power. Second of all, he has his own ways of doing stuff like this. Not for the good of Iran only, but also for the good of the whole world. Because I think by now it's clear enough that the existence of the Islamic Republic of Iran is nothing but danger, threat, and tragedy to the whole fucking world. So yeah, that is the second option, and on that note, we wrap it up. Before we wrap it up, I want to make one thing clear again. I am not a fanboy, I am not a patriot, I don't have any special bond to a specific person, to a specific group of people, to a specific country even. As a matter of fact, I don't even care about Iran as a whole. I only made this video for, first of all, educational purposes. I could have gone into more details, but I really didn't want to. I wanted to make it as simple as possible, so that I can, give you a background, a basis, and let you have something to tell when this topic, one day comes up in your friends group or some shit like this. And second of all, I was genuinely touched when I saw that, this many people lost their lives, their loved ones got injured, or, somehow got affected by this incident. I thought to myself, the least I can do is to make a video and talk about it. Talk about the actual state of the country and try to be useful or helpful in any way, shape, or form. And I hope it worked. I hope the video was informative. I hope you liked it. I hope you learned something if you didn't know already. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. If you are still here at this point of the video, it's actually insane to me. Thank you for that. And yeah, if you liked it, I would appreciate it if you could like the video and subscribe to my channel. It would mean a world, a universe, I'm being honest. And yeah, that's it. Ain't gonna take your time no more. And actually, I'm gonna try to make more of this type of videos, just to stay here or sit here and talk about some stuff, variant stuff. I actually have some ideas, but yeah, we'll see. Thank you very much for watching, and see you later.